Cue music. We're all about class when it comes to pens, and we like to let it show. Welcome to Fountain Pen Radio, presented by FPGeeks.com. And now for your fountain pen enthusiast hosts, here's Eric and Dan. Gentlemen.
This is Fountain Pen Geeks Podcast, episode number 38 for Tuesday, August 28th, 2012. We are recording live on Saturday, August 25th. Welcome to Fountain Pen Radio. My name is Eric.
This is Dan.
And I'm Steven.
Steven, Dan, how are you, gentlemen? Oh, Brian Gray, just jump in. America's pen maker.
I'll wait to be introduced. Man, new.
I thought this would be like a Three Stooges thing where we went, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, you could have discussed that before the show. We probably would have done that for you, just to make you feel at home.
Sorry about that.
Gentlemen, how's everybody?
Again,
Doing good. How are you?
I'm great. In Southern California, it is 8:01 a.m. Dan, I think it's 10 a.m. for you, yes? And Brian, it must be 11 for you. And Doc Brown, I have no idea. 5 p.m., let's guess.
It's 5
p.m. And everybody is well on this Saturday. Let's see, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. In the East Coast. 2 weeks ago, this very moment, 3 of us were at the DC Pen Show. 2 of us were better dressed than the other, but all 3 of us were there. Dan, we missed you so much. We probably said that last week, so we don't have to go through it again.
We got a little issue in the chat. They're saying that everybody is really low except Eric. You're way louder than everybody else.
So do I make myself softer, or
can you turn your input down?
I can try.
But that would affect us then, wouldn't it?
It's all coming through Skype.
So I'm loud.
Can we do like just a test with each person? Maybe go 1, 2, 3, 4, test. I'll start. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. This is Brian Gray. Test 1, 2.
Testing. This is Dan. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I've moved my microphone away from my mouth, so perhaps that will help. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let us know in the chat, please, if that sounds good.
Says still low, getting better. Is there any way you can turn us up in your...
No. I don't believe I can.
Should we all just shout?
Yeah, would you all just shout?
No, I think that Eric should
I'll whisper.
Just leave.
I'll whisper,
Right.
and the 3 of you shout.
Well, we'll just have to deal with it, I suppose.
I mean, the other option is we could stop right
Maybe
now.
People can just give us a heads up whenever they cannot, when we're really not understandable, people don't hear what we're saying, they can just give us a heads up,
So, someone just said we'll live with it, no worries. So why don't we keep going?
All right, we can go with it.
All right, I'll just keep my microphone away from my mouth. How's that? And we'll see what happens.
I can still hear you good, too, so that's fine.
Yeah, I can hear you.
As long as I can.
As long as you can. We're all good to go. All right. That out of the way, where shall we go? Let's talk about pen shows, shall we?
Some pen shows, all right. The next one coming up on our calendar anyway is the Northeast Pen Show, September 2nd. Now, I totally failed and actually didn't look up anything about this. Does anybody know any information about this?
The only thing I know is that Edison Pen does not attend the Northeast Pen Show, and that I won't be there.
I will not be there. That's not in the United States, is it?
No.
Where is it? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't have the calendar up in front
Well,
of
the Northeast,
me, so.
they usually do that. In England, they usually name them after the area. So I'm going to guess that it's a show in England. But speaking of Europe, there's also another European show in September. Stephen Brown.
Yes, that's correct. There will be a show in Tilburg, which is the south of the Netherlands. It'll be there on September the 29th. I think usually as per, sort of European norms, it will be 1 day only. I will be there. I was there last year. It was nice. It was, I think the best word to describe it was cozy, because it's pretty small. There's not a lot of vendors, and as I said, it's only 1 day, so it's kind of nice. I seem to remember there was a lot of vintage and not so much modern pens, but there are a few sellers who actually sell modern pens only. So good show.
But you were there last year.
I was there last year.
And you'll be representing Fountain Pen Geeks this year at that show. And last year, did you buy anything at that show?
Best, yes. I bought 1 pen I bought a Montblanc 220, so that's
All right.
a vintage.
Well, that's
Montblanc
a good reason to go
with
again
an
this
oblique
year.
broad nib.
A what? Oblique broad?
Definitely, because it was oblique broad. Yeah, and that's a pretty nice nib actually. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know whether there's going to be anyone there that I know. Either through Fountain Pen Geeks or YouTube or whatever. But we'll see, and of course, I'll do a report. I'll try to record some video with some people. So we'll see.
Dan, something's wrong with my audio. Did he just say I don't know if there'll be anybody at the pen show that I know?
Sarge should be there.
I don't know if Sarge
Shouldn't
does
he?
Sarge do the Tilburg? It doesn't matter. The entire pen world knows Doc Brown. You should have walked the floor with him at the DC Pen Show and seen how many autographs he was asked for.
Yeah, but I think in Europe, I mean, I just don't know. I mean, the Netherlands is a fairly small country, right? So I mean, there may be a few people from Germany or something, but I'm really not sure. For some reason, I got the feeling I'm well known in the US, but I don't know about the rest of Europe. Actually.
Well, I guess you'll find out in Tilburg.
For the show, can you mount a GoPro on your head, or at least an iPhone?
I will definitely mount something on my head. I'm not sure what, but I will do something. I have pictures taken, and I'll have them sent to you straight away.
All right. Well, we got plenty of time before that. It's about a month away. But speaking of Europe, is there any European pen we want to talk about, Mr. Smith?
Any European pen?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I'll just put a picture up. I'll wait for you to find your spot.
The Stipula, of course. Did you guys see these at the show? Because they were in DC.
They were. The Stipula had a table in the foyer. I don't remember seeing these pens.
No, I don't remember seeing them either.
That's too bad.
There were so many pens.
From the pictures, I mean, these things look like so much fun. They're the Etruria Rainbow Clear Fountain Pens, and if you read their advertisement, their little pamphlet thing, it's hilarious because they mention clear so many times. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Like every other word is clear. Yeah, right. And they come in 6 different colors: orange, yellow, crystal, green, blue, and red. They will have matte gold trim on all the pens except the blue one, which has a matte rose trim. The yellow one has matte white trim. So there's a little bit of variation there. Each color is limited to 351 pieces. They're all piston fillers, and they include the titanium T-Flex nib, or you can also get them with a 14-karat gold nib. The prices are actually pretty reasonable. $325 is the MSRP for the titanium nib, but if you want the gold nib, you're going to pay for it. $595 is the list price for that.
I don't understand that. Why is there such a huge price difference between titanium and 14K? I could be wrong, but my understanding is that the cost of a titanium nib is roughly the same as a 14-karat nib. I have no idea why there's that huge difference, or why you would get 14K.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty strange. Could be
Prestige. I like them. I think they're nice looking pens. I wish I had seen them at the show. I probably would not have purchased one, but I wish I could have. I wish I would have seen them.
I wonder though if you now obviously a titanium nib comes in a silver color, right? Silver-ish color. If you get the green pen or the orange pen or the red pen, do they change the trim so that the clip and the band matches the nib?
Doubtful.
Because obviously you can't.
I think the clip and trim are, those options are only, to that pen.
Yeah. I noticed the yellow one has like a rhodium or a silver colored trim. I wonder if that's an option on the others to keep it matched.
They call it matte white, and like the blue one has matte rose, and I guess those are, for those colors, that's it. That's all you get. There's no mix and match between.
I wonder do they mean matte white gold?
I think if it was going to be white gold, they would say that specifically. It just says matte white, so maybe some kind of rhodium plating that's got a matte finish or something. I mean, I don't know. They don't really go into any detail about that.
Anyway.
Yeah. By the way, if I can give a little insider information on titanium nibs, just so that everybody knows, here's my understanding. Now, this is, I think I can say this is pretty authoritative with my people in Germany that I've talked to. The first run of titanium nibs were done for, I believe, Stipula, and then also, is it Omas, I think, are the two companies that had those made. And then there's some generic that they never stamped. But my understanding is that the cost to manufacture and the hassle was so huge that when they made the first run of like 100,000 nibs, they're not going to do it again. So if you like the titanium nibs and you see it on a pen like this and it's priced at $325, which is pretty reasonable if you ask me, probably snatch it up, because my understanding amongst the German nib makers is that that first run of titanium nibs were made and they won't be made again because it just wasn't cost effective and too much hassle. I can't say that.
That's surprising that the price is so low then. I mean, because that's MSRP. I mean,
yeah.
These things are probably actually going to be selling for like what, 250, 275 or something?
Yeah. So anyways, that's my understanding. Whether or not that changes anytime soon, I don't know. But the last that I heard about titanium nibs is that if you like them, buy it up because it probably won't happen. And I think there's also a bit of controversy too. A lot of nibmeisters don't like working on titanium. It's a little bit more fussy.
Yeah.
I don't believe I have any titanium nibs.
Have you guys ever tried one?
Not that I don't know. Have I, Dan? Do you know that I have?
They're interesting.
No, I was saying yes to me, not to you.
All right, moving right along.
They're definitely flexible.
Where are we going, Dan?
Right.
We're going to check out a new affordable pen from Pilot called the Metropolitan. It comes in several different finishes. It's a matte finish over a brass barrel, and it comes in black, silver, and gold. It has chrome-plated clip and metal accents. It will be available with a fine or medium steel nib, and it's a cartridge converter filler. Let's see, the fountain pen is available for $18.75, and then the ballpoint and gel rollers is like $16.75, I think. And as soon as these are released, you'll be able to use a coupon code at their website to get $3 off the pen plus free shipping. So it's basically a $15, $16 pen. And I really like these. I think they have a lot of potential for the new fountain pen user. Pilot, they seem to make good quality pens. Even their steel nibs are reasonably good. And I think these aren't so flashy. I don't think they're going to turn people off. It'd be a good introductory pen, I think.
I like the look, and I certainly like the price. So this is sort of a competition for the Shafer VFM.
I think it's really good competition.
Yeah, I really like Pilots.
I think this is a really sleek-looking pen.
My favorite is the black.
It's a fairly nice sort of I think it's a bit of a how you put that high-tech sort of look to it with the way it's modeled and the chrome on it. I don't think it's bad, and especially at that price. I think it's going to be very interesting. I mean, what you get for that price usually the Plaisir,
right?
And that's basically just a preppy nib, right, with a metal body. So this could actually be a good Pilot nib. Then.
And the one advantage it has over the VFM is the VFM only holds a single cartridge.
Yes.
You can't put a converter in it, and it doesn't hold 2 cartridges. So you're really limited on ink capacity there.
And this one,
I think the overall shape of this is really, really cool. I like that really, really long clip that becomes kind of slim towards the edge. I think that's really cool. The overall shape is awesome, and I like how they shaped this section and how the section transitions down to the nib.
Yeah.
Overall, this is a really cool pen for what? For 18, less than $20?
Less than $20,
yeah.
And apparently you can use that code to get it $3 off and free shipping. So, I mean...
Yeah, and honestly, all 4 of these colors are really cool, too. I like that beige brown. That's a neat pen.
And do we know when it's released? Because the coupon code is Holiday MR, so are we waiting until Christmas?
I don't think it's going to be real close to Christmas. I'm expecting October, November time frame, but I haven't heard anything officially.
Okay. Nice pen. I'm going to have to try one of those.
And if you have a little bit more cash to spare, I think the Pelikan M600 Ruby Red or the Red-O Red might fit the bill. This is a new pen. It's following like the Greeno Green that's been out. It's made from resin. It's slightly transparent. You can easily see the piston knob through the cap in the picture there. The clip and cap rings are plated with 24 karat gold. The nib will be available as a bicolor 14 karat gold nib in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. And these will be available in September, but only for a limited time. And we didn't have a price on them when the article was posted, but a couple guys in the comments said that their Pelikan retailer quoted them $436 for this.
For an M600.
How much again?
$436.
Oh, okay.
Is that comparable to what you paid for the white one, Dan? The white with the tortoise?
Well, I bought mine on eBay from a German seller a little before they were officially available, and I actually got it at quite a bit of a discount, even compared to what they're selling for now. So no, this is about $100 more than what I paid for my white tortoise 600.
Well, it's Pelikan.
I wish that we could see it unposted. I'm curious whether or not they made the blind cap black. Any idea? If we saw it unposted, I could tell you.
If we saw it unposted, I could tell you.
Well, of course. You know, you guys threatened to kick me off the show. I'm just going to leave. That's it.
She'll be missed.
That's hilarious.
I'm just wondering whether or not that blind cap is black. Is it black?
Well, on the 320, the smaller version, it is black. I'm guessing it's going to be the same for the M600 version.
Well, it'll match the section that way.
I can't decide which I think would look better. Yeah.
What would look better is if they did the section and the blind cap in the same red material. That would look better.
You think so?
I think that would look interesting. I'd definitely like to see a mock-up of it at least.
That's Photoshop.
I think it would be nice for Pelikan because it would be a departure from what's typical. I think that would be cool.
Actually, Doc Brown is pretty good at painting
what kind
pens.
Of departure I would like to see.
Yeah, exactly. So I might as well.
Just get one of these and paint the section in the blind cap.
Get one, and then I'll just paint it.
There you go.
I mean, that's no problem.
And you were saying, Dan, something you'd like to see, a Pelikan?
The departure that I would like to see is bringing these pens into the M800, M1000 size.
Yeah, when are they
going to do that?
When are they going to do that? They make a really...
Some of us don't like huge pens.
Well, nobody cares about those people, so...
And I have taken a liking to smaller pens these days, but there's still a place in my collection for larger pens. And, Dan, we saw the M1000 demonstrator in Chicago, which is just a beautiful pen. Gorgeous. But, yeah, some of these interesting variations, they should move up into the M800, M1000. Are we not still waiting for the white and tortoise M800? We'll write them a letter.
Have that the brown tortoise M800 is just a rumor at this point. Man, I so hope that comes out.
Yeah, how many of those would they sell?
They need to release these in the larger sizes.
They would sell a lot of those.
As many as they can make for years.
I guess nobody's telling them that. Anyway.
I guess not.
Doc Brown, you've been very quiet, but it is now your time to talk.
I think I really like that red color. I think it's very, very warm and very nice. And the Pelikan green is just, I don't care a whole lot for that. So I think it's a very nice design. I'm not looking for, this pen, but if I would be looking for it's a 600, right? So if I would be looking for that, then I think this would actually make a very good, a good chance of being selected.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt that the Pelikan shape is classic, and I like it. Perhaps, however, you could start talking about Inkcyclopedia.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry, I was just talking about uninteresting pen. The Inkcyclopedia,
I didn't know if we were laughing about... Sorry, I didn't know if we were laughing about that or someone's dog barking.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that was my dog.
No, that's cool.
It's a very nice dog. She's just crazy as a bat. But apart from that, the Inkcyclopedia. I did a new entry on Tanzanite, which is an ink by Private Reserve. I think it's a very interesting ink. It's mostly purplish, I would say, but it has interesting, I don't know, nice sort of almost bluish shading in some pens. So the choice was between that one and Bilberry by Diamine, and Bilberry is darker. That's a bit more blue. So I think it's a very interesting color, and also I thought, we should try to throw in a private reserve ink at some point, and that happened.
And I like Tanzanite.
So, what did you think?
Tanzanite is my go-to purple, thanks to John the Monkey, who sent in an entry for one of our giveaways using that Tanzanite ink, with a special little note saying, perhaps this will inspire you, Eric, to try it. And so, I have a whole bottle, and I like it very much. I'm glad you did the review of it.
It's a good ink.
Anyone else in the room have experience?
Also, there's a strange rumor.
There's a rumor? They're usually strange.
Oh, there's a rumor that if you have a pen, yeah, that's true. If you have a pen that doesn't have particularly good flow, and you put this ink in, it can actually help. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure whether it's lubricated or anything. It's just a rumor that I picked up at some point. But you can give it a shot.
Well, what's the source of the rumor? Can you tell us?
Saying. I mean, go on.
Could you tell us the source of
the source of the rumor?
Was in your comments or something?
No, it was. There was just a guy who rang my door one day, and he said, "Hey, you want to hear something interesting? You got to drive." Now it's. I think it was on the Fountain Pen Network. I think someone mentioned it there. And
well, if it was
honestly,
there, it's
I can't
fact,
remember the screen name,
right?
So it's not that I'm.
Yeah.
Of course, but I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I do know that as far as I'm concerned, the ink is very good flow. So I mean, who knows? Maybe it does something.
Well.
I'm not an ink expert, and I've said this many times, but I do have a lot of experience with Tanzanite. I think it's a great ink.
Really? That's it. Wait.
I'm done. That's it. That's all I had to say.
No, I find it pretty interesting that you have experience with private reserve Tanzanite, because when I think of you and ink, I think of Sailor, which you carried for a long time, and now I was just in your shop. I could only find Waterman. That's all you had.
Yeah.
So where are you hiding this Tanzanite?
From a while ago. I don't have
okay.
any right now. But before I carried Sailor, before I carried Waterman, I carried Private Reserve. And so I actually, of all of the Private Reserve flavors, if you will, Tanzanite was my favorite out of the entire lineup.
I think, yes, it's the top two Private Reserve inks for me are Tanzanite and Avocado. And speaking of inks, what's the next installment?
How about sorry, go ahead.
What's the next installment, Doc Brown?
The next installment, we thought, and when I say we, I think Eric and I thought it would be interesting to have an iron gall ink in there, because iron gall fascinates a lot of people, and Montblanc Midnight Blue happens to fit the bill, because that is an iron gall ink that you can just get and throw in your pen, and it's actually a very interesting ink. I remember that I once put that in the pen, and I threw a fairly large cup of tea over the paper, which was not actually on purpose, and the ink, there was sort of a blue sheen on a brownish blue disgusting sheen on the paper. When I wiped that off, the writing was still there. So it's actually a pretty cool ink, and I think that's going to be a fascinating installment, because it's an interesting color and it has very interesting properties.
Cool. So next up is Montblanc Midnight Blue, they call it, right? Midnight Blue, which is an iron gall ink. All right, moving right along. Who's going to be the expert on this topic?
I think that would be you, Eric. Doesn't this bring up some memories? I mean, don't you have a special connection with this pen?
To whom are you speaking? All of us? Everyone? What?
No. Don't forget that Eric's heyday was the 80s. Ooh. Don't you think like the 80s was more rampant with coke than it was weed? So and now everyone's wondering, what the heck is this topic?
Yeah, where is the coke pen? That's what I want. Go ahead, Dan.
The THINK Hippie. Wow, yeah. So we'll just get right into it. It's made from hemp-colored matte Italian resin. It has a ginormous cannabis leaf for the clip. The cat band says abso-freaking-lutely. It's actually a little edited there. The U is edited out with a cannabis leaf. All the accents are silver vermeil, and it comes in a retina searing tie-dyed box.
Retina searing.
It is just unbelievably bright. I mean, they nailed the packaging for this. I mean, there's no doubt. The pen is limited to 888 fountain pens and 888 roller balls, and it'll come in a medium nib only. MSRP on this is $275 for the fountain pen and $250 for the roller ball. discuss.
I like
Is there like I mean, is there an engraving on the nib? And I'm not leading up to a joke because first of all, I got to tell you, I friggin' love this pen. I think this is so cool. I'm glad that. I mean, I think that of course it's going to appeal to like hippies and 60s and people that are into weed, but at the same time, it's kind of tongue in cheek too. And I'm really happy to see a pen company that will introduce something that is, it's more than a novelty. It's actually kind of funny. I think that's really kind of cool. I really do.
I thought this was so hilarious because, I mean, and it's probably just, where I live, but everybody I know that smokes could not afford this pen.
Yeah.
Like, there's no freaking way it would happen. I just thought that was hilarious.
Oh, that was my question. The only thing I know about THINK pens is that I generally like their designs, and Maya collects them. But I wonder, is this indicative of their usual MSRP? Or
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, like their Beatles pens and their, I mean, what else have they done? They've introduced a lot of different niches with musicians and such, and maybe those are priced lower because they're aiming for a different market with that. I don't know. I guess I don't.
This is the market we should raise the price on? I don't understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, any one of us going to get one of these?
I do have. Well, no, I don't think so. But we did have a person on our Facebook say that they have pre-ordered it.
Really?
So, yeah, there's someone that interested in it.
I got to tell you, as a pen manufacturer, as someone that designs pens, my brain immediately went to how many different ways could you turn a barrel or a cap into a one-hitter? Or there's got to be a way to attach a bowl, to the edge of the cap. There's got to be a way to smoke through that pen. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm wondering. If they haven't advertised this and they just let the user find it, like a magical way to light up on your lunch break or something. I mean, there has to be a little secret in there somewhere.
Hey, can you imagine, you pack your weed in the converter, whenever you need it, just dispense a little bit into the end of the barrel.
And by the way, FPGeeks does not condone using illegal drugs or anything like that. So,
no, but speaking of drug use and its legality, Doc Brown, don't you live fairly close to Amsterdam?
I live very close to Amsterdam, and I think this is. I think this is a great pen, and I will actually send this on to one of my colleagues who does research on cannabis, because I'm not.
Is that what you call it?
Pens,
yeah, that's what I'm going to call it from now on. It's just, I'm doing research.
That's what he calls it. But I mean, I think he would go completely nuts over this. I mean, even if he's not a fountain pen lover, but I mean, this is so awesome that. It's extremely original, and I think it's really, really cool. Yeah, and I wonder how many drug dealers in Amsterdam are going to be, sort of having this in their chest pocket or something.
Well, you could become a distributor.
I've been researching Budweiser since college.
Yes, Dr. Bud. All right, I don't know how we're going to move from this pen to one of Ernest's pens.
I think we should stay on this for at least 10 more minutes.
All right, you'll have to entertain us.
No, I mean, I already said it. I think. I love this pen. I think it's cool. It's probably 50% tongue in cheek, 50% marketing to like a hippie, weed smoking, population. But I'd like to see a price of like $175 or lower. But still, I mean, they just had. I'm sure they had a blast with this, and that's what's cool about it. I think it's really neat.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think this is my favorite pen of the broadcast.
Oh, don't say that because we're going on to Ernest pen.
Oh wait!
Yeah, wait. Here's your favorite pen.
I'm dialing Ernest right now.
Is he not in the audience?
Creation. He's not.
Don't see him.
I haven't seen him. But the latest creation from Hakumin, Urushi, Kobo is the Meichiku bamboo line of pens, and this is something that Ernest has been working on for quite a while. Actually, he did mention it during the Geek of the Week podcast that Eric did with him. And
that was months ago too.
Yeah, it was. I think it was back in March.
Yeah.
These pens will be made from a couple different types of bamboo, susutake and shiratake. And some of this stuff, Ernest has told me, is anywhere from 150 to 250 years old. And others, Ernest has actually grown himself, which I think is pretty freaking cool. some of you might have noticed that this is going to look quite similar to one of Sailor's pens that we've featured at the website, and it is similar, but Ernest says there's several key differences. First, his pens have an ebonite internal structure, and the non-bamboo portions of the pen, so like the section, the threads, the cap and barrel bands, they're all lacquered. Sailor doesn't do that. And then the way Ernest closed off the ends of the bamboo is very different from Sailor's method. And we don't have pictures of that right now, but we are going to definitely get more details about this pen in the coming weeks, and we'll let you guys know about it. But what do you guys think of this?
Well, some of us...
It's my favorite pen of the broadcast.
Some of us have actually seen these pens in person at the DC Pen Show.
Yes.
And what you don't...
3 of us
looking
have.
at the pictures, first of all, they're beautiful, but it doesn't give you any idea of the size of this pen, and the size cannot be overstated, I don't think. This is the largest pen I have ever seen. Doc Brown, do you remember the size of this pen?
Absolutely, I remember. It's I remember. I think you just you looked at Ernest and you said, "Is that a pen, or are you just happy to see me?" Because it was really big. No, it's true. These were very big. I remember, and I think they're absolutely beautiful.
I guess what we need here is one of these pens where you do I have fairly large hands and hold it, because this pen would just dwarf your hand. This is a huge pen.
Yeah, I think these actually would extend up to this
or
point
more.
At least.
Please.
So that's a serious pen. Well, I mean, if I would hold it here, it would be up to
yeah, exactly. There you go. At the same time, they're absolutely gorgeous.
But let me ask you this: Did you guys get a chance to hold them and as if you were writing?
Yeah, we almost stole them. What do you mean? Of course.
The section.
Yeah, and what? Now, obviously, it is huge. When it's capped. What was your impression of holding the pen? Because you realize that people can't tell scale in this photo, but the section on that is one of my standard sections from the Huron. So it's not. The section itself is not incredibly oversized, but yes, there's a huge step going from the threads up to the bamboo. But of course, that's unavoidable. What did you guys think about holding it, and what was the practicality?
I think it would be a fantastic pen to have in your collection, to have on some sort of display stand on your desk. For me, it would be a signature pen, something that you just use to sign a check or something like that. Because I couldn't see myself writing page after page in a journal without the help of a crane.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I guess that what I'm getting at is that I didn't feel it's a little impractical, and I think that Ernest will admit to that. Like maybe someone that would want a pen like this would be a beautiful display, and then you would use it occasionally for signatures. But the point of this is that I didn't find it to be so impractical that I couldn't use it as a signature pen.
No, absolutely, you can use it. There's a step, but if you're just signing your name, this is a work of art. Make no mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't think we have pricing information yet.
No,
I don't know of any.
Yeah, so
I think they're going to cost more than $5.
I think so too. It's a work of art. It's time-consuming, painstaking, and absolutely stunning, and will be priced, I'm sure, accordingly, and worth every penny.
Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Did you look at the nib? And what's unique about the nib?
Yeah, we had someone in the comments catch that, and I was wondering if anybody would notice that little detail. Yeah. But Ernest is actually applying maquille to the nib.
But it's his signature, is it not?
Yes. That's something that I found really fascinating. At the DC show, I took a look because I sent him off a couple of steel nibs to experiment with, putting Urushi, maquille, his signature on the nib itself. And it looks fantastic. Now, you need to see a close-up. You need to see it live is best. But I was really impressed with how that looked on the nib. And he wanted to experiment with the steel nibs, and it looks like from now on, I can't speak authoritatively on Ernest's part, but I'm pretty sure that what Ernest is probably going to do now, instead of using my Edison nibs on his pens, he's going to get the exact same nibs but with no engraving, and then put his logo, signature I should say, in lacquer, in maquille, on the nibs themselves. So I don't think I've seen a pen maker put lacquer on a nib before, or am I mistaken?
I have not. I was stunned. I was stunned when he showed it to me, and he showed me a couple different versions, and it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And
Yeah.
That's what I want him to do with all his pens from now on in the future.
Yeah. Well, we're already discussing getting him some blank nibs to start doing it for real on the 18K versions. So look forward to, I mean, literally, like, I don't know, when my pen company went from using like standard floral nibs or whatever nibs Bexley would sell me, and then I went to having my own logo on it, it really made a big difference. You know, they're my nibs. And now Ernest will have that same thing, but even more unique because it's actually lacquer on the nib, which I think is really, really cool.
Extremely cool. Extremely cool.
Yeah. So expect, I mean, not only is the bamboo pen cool, but expect to see some, you know, these gold nibs showing up on Ernest pen here in the near future.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Where should we go?
I think we should...
From Urushi Man to Batman?
Look at a new Batman.
All right.
Yeah. Now, this is another pen you guys should have seen.
We did see it. It was right next to those bamboo pens.
Right next to it,
practically, but you know, it was so small compared to them.
This is Montegrappa's Cult Series Batman collection. It's to celebrate, you know, Batman, of course, and it's released with the new Batman movie. There's 1,939 fountain pens and rollerballs made, and that number represents the year of Batman's first appearance. It's made from black anodized aluminum with ruthenium-plated clip and decorative rings. It will come with a two-tone rhodium-plated 18-karat gold nib. The first 500 pens are reserved as part of a set that you can see in the picture here. That'll come with cufflinks and a watch. The three-piece set sells for $5,695, and the fountain pen alone is $3,350.
Holy.
Yeah.
Does it have Urushi on it?
Can you make it into a one-hitter?
Doc Brown, yeah, you saw this pen.
I saw this. I thought it was, you know, actually, when I saw it, I didn't like it that much. And you know, when I look at it now, I still don't. But you know, apart from that, no, I mean, it does have some very interesting features. I mean, clearly, if you're a Batman fan, then I can imagine this would really appeal to you. But I think it has some cool features on there. For example, what I just noticed that if you look at the cap, there's actually a sort of, I'm not sure whether it's, I guess it's not really inlaid, but there's like that bat logo in sort of relief. I think that's pretty cool. And you know, there are a lot of bats on the barrel, which I don't care for that much. But actually, I think, you know, it has some pretty cool things to it, and I kind of like, and actually something I do really like is the shape of the section and then the nib. I think those are proportioned very nicely, and I think that's actually pretty cool. It's a very minor detail, but still, this is not a pen. I mean, if this would be priced, you know, a lot lower, I would still not get this, but it does hold a certain appeal, and I do think the sort of matte black look is kind of cool. So. Yeah.
I think you're being too kind.
Too kind.
I just wonder how much of the price of this pen is going to the licensing rights, because I know that can't be cheap.
That's true. I hadn't thought of that.
Mind.
It's a nice pen. If you're a big fan of Batman, this is the pen you need to have, because it is a Batman pen, and lots of time and effort went into the design. When you hold this pen, there's nothing else you can think of except for Batman and of course bats. So. Yes, if you're a Batman fan, this is the pen for you.
But this, I don't know. This really does very little for me. I don't want to get overly critical, but I just can't imagine. I mean, like think about the market that this is aimed at. You know, the people that have bought maybe the Chaos pen, which is another story, maybe the Bruce Lee pen, or other, you know, things that are just like ornate and decorative and over the top for the sake of that. You know, an executive with tons of money, and he's got various pens on his desk that are just basically for show. I mean, some of those I understand, but I can't imagine marketing this to that crowd where it's like, oh, that's my Bruce Lee pen, that's this pen, and here's, you know, all these beautiful pens, and here's my Batman pen, and here's a matching watch, and then here's the cufflinks. I don't see that being the same appeal as the others, and the pen doesn't do much for me either anyway. So I hope I'm not coming off too critical, but it doesn't do very much for me. I don't understand marketing this to the same crowd that would buy all the others.
And the price range,
Well, that kind of killed the evening.
Thanks for joining us, Mr. Gray. Am I completely off base? Is this not the same price range as the Alfred Hitchcock, the non-red one? The
No, this is like $2,000. Oh, the pin alone, yes.
Yeah,
yes, the pin alone is very close.
Very close.
To the...
And I know what I would choose if I had to buy one of those. I would choose.
Oh yeah,
the Hitchcock.
There's no contest.
No contest. But
there is a pin that has made me totally forget the Hitchcock.
You really? You like this one more than the Hitchcock?
That is.
What?
Give me a break.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right.
Montblanc's new Heritage Collection, 1912. This thing is absolutely stunning. It's limited to 333 pieces, made from titanium. It has a floating mother of pearl star in the cap. The nib has a triangular shaped breather hole in it, and it comes with 3 removable clips. There's an Art Deco style clip in .925 sterling silver. There's a snake clip in German silver, and a triangle clip in 750 solid gold. Personally, they can keep all the clips and take like $3,000 off the price, and I'd be happy. But whatever. The really, really cool thing about this pin, though, is it has a 2-step piston filling mechanism that also operates the retractable nib. So it's a retractable nib fountain pen with a piston filling system. I don't know how they do it, but wow.
Yeah, well,
it'll be available in October for $13,500.
Right. So how many have you ordered?
The one thing I've got one in each nib size.
Yeah.
But the one thing I couldn't figure out is this pin is they say the Montblanc Heritage Collection is a fitting tribute to 100 years of reliable craftsmanship and quality, and a step into a new dimension in both design and technology. But I can't figure out why they're releasing it this year. I mean, yes, they've been in business for over 100 years. The Simplo Filler Pen Company was founded in 1908. The trademark for the name Montblanc was registered in 1910. The white star that we're so familiar with
has left the building.
Somebody has
was registered in 19.
He's back.
There he goes.
Yeah, you went away there for a moment, Mr. Smith. You were talking about the white star. The white star did what? The white star rose.
Okay, the white star became a registered trademark in 1913, and they didn't change names to Montblanc until 1934. So I can't actually understand what they're celebrating 100 years of.
Well,
I mean, just being in business, what I would think they would align this one with some kind of significant date in their company history, but I can't figure it out. So
I suppose we could find out. We'll have to call them. Call them and find out. Somebody knows.
I think we should.
Somebody at Montblanc knows. You don't design a $13,500 pen without knowing why it's called the 1912 limited edition. What do you think of the clips, though?
Maybe they.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Doc Brown. Maybe they what?
Sorry. I just all I wanted to say is maybe they just went to random.org. They just drew a number and said, okay.
See, I knew it was going to be good. That's why I wanted you to get it in there. The clips, the changeable clips, I don't know about that. But like you say, Dan, you just throw the clips away.
Well, you don't like any clips, right? So
no, I do enjoy clips. If you're going to take a pen with you, it needs a clip. And obviously, if I had this one, I'd probably take it everywhere.
But wasn't there a no clip option? I thought I saw on the site that it came. Maybe I saw that wrong. I'm not sure, but I think I just saw a strange sort of ring-like object which had no clip attached.
Right. I suppose. Well, these clips you can slide them on and off, and they're interchangeable clips. I suppose if you took them off and didn't put another one on, you'd have a clipless pen. But like Dan said, they should sell it without the clips and knock $3,000 off the price, and then of course we'd get 2, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I really want to see how the mechanism works, how the nib retracts and extends, and then also how you operate the piston filling system. From the pictures, I'm totally guessing at this, but I'm guessing you might pull the piston knob back to operate the piston filler. I don't know, just a complete guess there. It looks like the piston knob is extended away from the pen when the nib is out. So I don't know how it works. I really want to get more information on this though.
You see the threads near on what is the section area of the pen? Where are the matching threads in the cap? Are they at the bottom of the cap or up near the star?
Probably way up near
I would
the
think
top.
so. So you have to retract the nib before you put the cap on. So it's sort of a piston-filling safety pen.
Montblanc's, with Montblanc's vintage safety pens, there's like that. There's like a little pin
that stops
inside the cap, and so exactly. So if you put the cap on, you're not going to jam it into the nib. I'm guessing they would have that in this pen as well.
Well, as soon as it's out, I'm going to have to go visit it somewhere. That is an interesting.
You suck.
How far away is your nearest Mont Blanc?
4.5 hours.
Make it a day trip. Go for it. They probably have more than that to show you. All right, back into the realm of things we can actually afford. Should we talk about Sheaffer?
Yeah, their new pen is called the Sagaris, and I absolutely love the names they are coming up with. The Sagaris is a long-shafted weapon with a metal head with either a sharp axe-like or blunt hammer-like edge on one side and a sharp, straight, or curving ice pick-like point on the other.
I've seen those.
I mean, I looked this up on Wikipedia. This is like one wicked-looking weapon.
No, that's
I can't believe they actually named a pen.
The shop,
I love
the shop at Edison Pen Company is filled with them. That's how Brian makes all his pens.
Oh, that makes sense.
He says nothing. He just smiles knowingly. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Not saying anything.
The Sagaris is a new, thinner, lighter fountain pen. It's a cartridge converter filler with a steel nib available in fine or medium width, and it comes in seven different colored trim combinations, and I think it's priced appropriately. The MSRP on this is anywhere from $60 to $90 depending on trim options, and it'll be available in October. Now, the thing that I'm really excited about, and not only for this pen, but also Sheaffer as a company, is I'm seeing them use more resin in their sections. And resin, it just looks better. It feels better. I'm so glad they're moving away from that cheap injection molded plastic. I just hate the look of that stuff. And if you'll notice, there's no threads on this. It's the cap is like a push snap cap. There's no threads on this section. The transition is smooth and gradual. I think this is going to be a really comfortable pen.
And it looks nice. Looks nice. They did a good job with this one.
I got to say, if there's a pen that has a second utility, a second purpose, I would much rather have one that I could smoke weed through rather than the one that would be a weapon. Please give peace a chance.
Please give peace a chance. I like it. I'm probably going to get the Pilot first and then maybe think about this one, but I do like this one. And talk about options. How many different pictures are at the site? 7 pictures, yeah. I just picked one and said we'll show them this one in the podcast video. But yes, there's got to be something there that pleases anybody and everybody.
There's nothing that pleases me.
We know that.
I think it's a bit dull. Yeah, I know that's true. But I mean, when it comes to this pen, I mean, I think it's a bit of a, to be honest, a bit of a bland design.
Have you gone to the website and looked at all the options?
I have done so, but just to please you, I'll do so right now. Just to get
it's probably you just got yourself an Edison in persimmon swirl, and you're that's ingrained in your mind right now. So everything on the planet is going to look a little bland to you at the moment.
Yeah, but still, I mean, okay, I'm looking at them right now. So we have chrome and black, black and gold, silver. Well, say chrome and gold. I mean, there's not really a specific combination we haven't seen before. I don't know.
It's also not $13,000.
No, that's true. I mean, I think that's great, and I think Sheaffer. I mean, I think Sheaffer makes excellent pens. I really do, and I have a few, and I really think they're great. But it's just that this specific design, I don't know.
Does nothing for you.
Doesn't do anything.
Of the pens we have spoken about thus far, which one speaks to you? We know it's not Batman. We know it's not the Sheaffer.
No, and the we of course I forgot the name of the bamboo pens. That's just absolutely beautiful. I think what speaks most to me actually is the either the no, actually not even either. I think it's definitely the Pelikan 600.
The Pelikan 600. All right.
I think that's the yeah, and that's probably. I mean, you are completely entitled to say that's kind of bland too, because there's nothing there we haven't really seen. But I just really like the red.
That's also bland. Let's just turn this entire show into a debate. How's that? And we know, we'll give peace a try. Anybody else have any more comments about this Sheaffer that just got beat up by Doc Brown? All right. Now, eventually, Scott Franklin is going to watch this show because, of course, he just can't wait to watch all of our shows. I don't think he's ever watched one. But we have something from Franklin-Christoph, don't we?
We do. The Model 29 Bellus. I think this is a heck of a good-looking pen, and you guys all saw this at the show, right?
Absolutely.
This is one of their newest pens. It's a cartridge converter filling fountain pen available with a steel or 18-karat gold nib, and the range of nib sizes is just astounding. You get double extra fine to broad with stubs or italics, and the stubs and italics are all ground by Mike Matsuyama. I've got one of the Model 25s, and it's got a broad stub in it, and it's, I mean, marvelous. I love it. There have been a few improvements made to this pen. It does use a magnetic cap for closing and posting the pen, but they've added a kind of an internal cam to easily release the tension from the magnet with just a simple quarter turn. It has an inner cap, so it helps prevent drying the nib from drying out after not using it for an extended period of time. And they're also reintroducing their paradox engraving on the section. It'll come in any color you want as long as it's black, but you do have a few options for the clip rings that they'll be accented in deep purple, old gold, fire engine red, or olive gray, and not bad as far as pricing is concerned either. $99.50 for the steel nib and $179.50 for the gold nib. I would actually like to get my hands on one of these and try them out.
We could probably arrange that. It's franklinchristoph.com, isn't it?
Could.
Yeah, they're for sale. Which nib would you get? I mean, you almost need to get one of each nib. There's so many to choose from. Pretty soon we're going to have to ask the dog's name so we can talk to it.
Oh, the dog is aptly named Dizzy. Dizzy Miss Lizzie. And that's
Dizzy Miss Lizzie.
The most apt name I've ever heard because she's great.
Apparently Dizzy likes this pen.
I think she does. And I'll tell you something funny. So do I.
That is funny.
I think this, isn't it? Because I think it's really, really, really nice. I really like that clip design. That's sort of with the sort of clippy thing. I like the
clippy thing.
Red thing.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, the clippy thing. I don't know how to describe that. It looks like
a clamp.
That looks like a weapon.
Looks like a clamp at the top of the pen.
Exactly. You
with
load it, then you if someone attacks you, you can just push it in their eye or something. But I think it's really. I mean, the I'm not sure whether it's a blind cap, but the thing at the end of the barrel, I think that looks very cool. This is a pen I will probably get.
All right. So we've sold two so far. Mr. Gray, opine for us, please.
These are your guys' photos. These are your guys' photos from the DC show, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing about the DC show. It's the biggest and the best, but as a vendor, I don't have time. I can't get up. I can't walk around. And when I do, I don't get to see what I want to. So this is the first time I'm seeing this, even though I was at the DC show. But I like, the magnetic caps, if he's engineered those cams, like you say, so you twist it and then it pops off a little easier. I think that's really cool. Overall, you guys know that I'm a fan of everything Franklin-Christoph regardless. I don't think there's a design in his arsenal that I wouldn't find favor with. So yeah, thumbs up on this one too.
So all four of us
pens.
like this pen. All right, we have all found a pen that we can agree on. Who's going to get the first one? We'll see. Doc Brown will probably be you, and I'm sure you'll do a review and report back to us. Dan, when are you going to order yours?
Sure.
I don't know, but when I do, it's going to be a huge order from them guys because they've got that new 1901, the King's Gold. I still have to get a 66 desk pin. I want to get one of those two pin sleeves. I mean, it's just going to be, like one of everything practically.
Yeah. Yeah, they make some nice products, and this one is no exception. Mm-hmm. And I think the price is right. Moving on to the price is right. Do we even have a price on our next pen?
The price is wrong.
Oh.
The KRONE Winston Churchill. Yeah, we do have a price on this one. I'll wait.
Okay. Yeah.
To
build it up.
Let that one out of the bag. I actually kind of like this design. I'm not a big fan of Winston Churchill, but I think just the tortoise colored resin with the kind of silver colored trim, I think it looks really good together. But this pen, it's celebrates Winston Churchill. It has it's kind of strange. It actually has a piece of his cigar built into the pen. I don't know how, I don't know where, but that's what they say. It's somewhere in the sterling silver relief that's on the cap.
Another pen you can smoke.
Yeah.
There you go. So the base of the cap is adorned with his name. It has Winston Churchill that goes all the way around it, and the barrel overlay is two frames over hand-painted images. The portrait of Churchill flashing his famous victory sign, and then an artist rendition of the British Lion, which was his nickname. And then below that is Churchill's never, never, never give up, underscores both of those. It's a limited edition pen to only 388 pieces worldwide. It'll be available in September. It is a piston filling fountain pen with a gold nib available in fine, medium, or broad. And the MSRP on this is $5,900.
$5,900. Actually, I thought you were going to come out with more. I thought the price was going to be higher than that.
Really?
Well, he said it has a piece of his cigar. I just thought it was going to be a little higher. It's a good-looking pen that I'm not going to buy. And now to really do it justice, Doc Brown.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's interesting. I think the tortoise is interesting, but I mean, apart from the price, the sort of overlay stuff doesn't really appeal to me. No. I mean, it's clearly a lot of thought went into the design, which I think is very cool. And I don't know of any other pen that has a piece of cigar embedded, so that's kind of unique. But it's not something I would get. No.
There's an awesome comment in the chat. Someone asked, "Are there really 300 plus people who would buy that?"
I don't think they'll have any trouble selling them. I don't think so.
Yeah,
well, I think the tortoise resin is phenomenal. It's wonderful, but also, similar to the Batman pen, we have to remember that these pens are oftentimes marketed to a different crowd than who we are. I mean, to say this.
Speak
is a
for yourself,
Mr.
Gray.
Well, I mean, that's the way I mean, honestly, though, have you guys ever seen a themed pen besides the weed one that you really had to have? Like a theme pen, like Winston Churchill, Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Lee. I mean, think about all those pens. I mean, I'm a monster. I'm a huge Beatles fan, but I still wouldn't pay $50 for the Think Beatles pen. You know what I mean? There's never been a theme that I thought to myself, I have to have that one. You know what I mean? And I don't, and there's nothing wrong with this, but again, the guy earlier that I said wouldn't go for that Batman pen, he might have that sitting on his desk, and that would make a lot more sense to me. Someone that's an executive and he would like to impress people with his collection, this would fit right in perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it, but it does nothing for me and most of us, I would say, that are more on the practical side of fountain pens.
No, and I don't think they're going to have any trouble selling out the edition. It's a beautiful, beautiful pen that I can't afford and don't want, but I can totally understand that there are people who can both afford it and want it. So I really kind of like the design. If you're going to do a pen for Winston Churchill, I think they did it right. I mean, it's a hard person to do a pen for.
Done it up right.
Yeah. I'm interested, though. One thing that I can't see, down at the bottom of the barrel, you can see that seam, all right? And obviously that's the blind cap, and that's what you twist. but that material looks translucent to me that I should see a piston mechanism in there somewhere, and I don't. So I'm just, from an engineering standpoint, I'm curious how they put this together. You know, I see the blind cap, but I don't see anything else going in there as far as where is that piston mechanism. Just thinking out loud, I'd love to be able to see the engineering behind it.
I think that says a lot about us.
It's pretty translucent.
It says a lot about us that we look at pens and what we want to know is how do they work? What's on the inside? How do they do that?
Absolutely.
I wonder if maybe they'll have one of these at the LA show. That would be like the only place I could think of to see it, because they're usually at the LA show.
I know of a couple of vendors. That would fit right into what they usually carry, so maybe it would be there.
Cool. So we'll report back, and we'll find out how that piston is installed and works and so forth and so on. How about a pen we might be able to afford that I still don't want? So the bet is still to me, Mr. Gray.
Well, TWSBI is still releasing more versions of the Diamond 850 IROC. We've seen, matte black, shiny black, raw finishes, titanium PVD coatings, and now we get an all chrome plated pen. And wow, is this thing bright. So what do we know about this? Yes, as Brian Anderson says in the comments, estimated arrival 2021. It's probably not far off. But we know it weighs 65 grams, and it's a piston filler.
Gosh, I don't even think I weigh 65 grams. This is a heavy pen.
It's a pretty massive pen. No word on price or release date. I would honestly be shocked if this pen comes in under $100.
I don't see how it can.
What do you guys think?
I mean, no. The Micarta is 100 on the nose, and they're going to price this one at more than the Micarta.
Right.
But do you like it, Dan? He asked with a small tone in his voice.
I do. I like it. I have a Retro 51 heavy metal 88, which is an 8-sided faceted pen, and it's all chrome plated. I mean, it looks very similar to this, and I like it. I mean, it's heavy, it's shiny, it's a fingerprint magnet, but you know what? Just wipe it off, and it looks good. I like all chrome plated pens. I don't think I have. I'd also like to have this in a matte black finish.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the chromeness of it, or that it would attract fingerprints. I'm having a little trouble accepting the middle portion of the pen, where it suddenly becomes rounded, and that throws the whole pen off as far as I'm concerned. The look, the design, and I don't know if I'm explaining it right. The center band is where the cap.
The center band is rounded compared to the
right.
rest.
It's sort of, I don't know, pull here and the whole thing will fall apart. So for me, it's a design thing that I don't care for. It's not a material thing. Doc Brown, what do you think?
I'm not sure. I like. No, I can't figure out whether I like the chrome or not. I have, I think, 2 chrome pens, and what I don't like about that is what Dan just mentioned, the fingerprints, just being attracted to them. But on the other hand, I also think this thing looks a bit like, I don't know, a lightsaber or something. And you know,
oh no, they'll sell like hotcakes now.
I think that. I mean, it definitely looks a bit futuristic, and I don't think it looks bad, but I'm just not sure whether for me it looks very good either. It's just, I don't know. I have to see more pictures and let this.
Well, this bright shiny chrome really finish was not the only finish we've seen on this, right, Dan? What do we think they might produce? Obviously, a bright shiny chrome.
I have absolutely no idea what they'll actually produce. I would like to see them release multiple colors and multiple variations, like maybe a raw finish, a matte black finish, and this.
Yeah, see, matte black, I would probably like that black, more.
Then
I'd still have the problem with the middle.
Matte black would make this look great.
All right, so none of us really care for the bright shiny chrome, and I have a problem with the shape.
The one issue that I'm looking at here is take a look at photo 6 of 6. What's going on with the section right there? I think that, the same as, I'm sure they're using the same mechanisms as their other piston fillers, so that means that you can unscrew the section, and there needs to be an O-ring in there. But on image 6 of 6, it looks like there's an O-ring with some kind of acrylic piece in between there. Is that just partially unscrewed and the O?
That's where the ink window will go.
Supposed to be? Oh, so this is a really rough prototype.
Yes.
Okay, so when Brian Anderson said 2015, he wasn't exaggerating.
2021, right. I think.
Okay, well, I don't think this is a dud, knowing that TWSBI will probably have a lot of options besides what they're showing here. You know, like you know, Steven and I both agreed like a black, like a really nice satin black version of this would be super cool if you ask me. I think that would make me overlook a lot of the things that we've discussed. But overall, you know, it's one thing about releasing real early prototype stuff is that you could turn people off before they even think about the pen. And I'm not turned off, but I'm not excited about it. And I think some people might be turned off by this for the reasons that we mentioned. So let's see as it develops. How's that?
Yeah, well, knowing TWSBI, they will just keep us posted. They'll keep releasing every new little thing that they do to the pen, and maybe by the end of it, it'll actually be something that I cannot live without.
Well, the one thing that I really like about TWSBI is seeing them go in different directions, you know, kind of getting away from just that clear demonstrator 530, 540 style, you know, with the micarta. Now with this, they've got the click, you know, we have a render of that at least. So we know they're expanding and trying different things. And I really, really like that.
And one thing that I also will give TWSBI a big thumbs up on is that it truly seems like they are very, very receptive to user feedback. They're interested on what we're saying about the forums, and if they're listening to this right now, I think you've got 4 guys right here that would say, man, black satin finish would be awesome on this pen.
Yes, and they probably know that.
If Speedy is listening...
Please listen. Speedy, sure. Philip, everybody. Speaking of black satin finish, and a pen that I'm sure we can all agree on, Dan, tell us what's going on with these Lamy 2000 articles that are being posted.
Well, this guy, who's going to become famous for these things, Brandon Hollingshead, he's written this massive 5-part, 15,000 word comprehensive article on the Lamy 2000 and the origins of Lamy design. I mean, this will be the reference article from here on out for Lamy 2000.
Seems like an ebook.
It includes...
Sorry, Dan, let me jump in. Can you put a link up for us?
Yeah, hold on. Let me...
Sorry about that. I didn't want to interrupt, but people in chat might want to see the link.
That's fine. All right. It should be in there now. So this is the link to the second part. What we're doing, he has the entire article written. There's a link in the article that you can go to read it all in one shot. We will be posting each part on Friday, and there's 5 parts. He covers all 3 of the Lamy 2000 versions. So the standard Macrolon, the 2000 limited edition stainless steel one, and then the new 2000M. The article is just unreal. I mean, it's impressive to say the least. I really can't.
And it's all focusing on one design, the 2000.
Right, and
that's a lot of information.
The designers behind it, the Bauhaus design principle and other design principles. I mean, it's really, the article is just impressive. I mean, I don't know any other way to describe it.
When did the pen came out? I want to say 1964. Was that?
66.
66. All right, 64,
yeah.
66. It's been around forever. You can definitely write 15,000 words on this single pen and make it extremely interesting. And if you have any interest in this pen whatsoever, this article is only going to, build that interest even more, as I'm sure the 3 of us know, because we're all 3 waiting for our Lamy 2000 stainless steel versions to arrive. And
did you guys order them?
Oh yeah,
yes,
oh yeah, they'll be here this week.
Yeah,
they'll be here.
Can't blame you. That's a sweet looking pen.
And reading this article just makes me want it even more. So I'm going to have to go, hunt down the FedEx truck that has it on. Anyway, the article is fantastic.
I mean, he includes so many pictures of comparison between the pens, history of the pens, design variations in the clips, design variations in the section, improvements they've made. I mean, he's got videos in there. Brandon, he's done an amazing job. I mean, really, this should be like a chapter in a book dedicated to Lamy.
This should be a museum.
Cool.
The Lamy 2000 Museum. I can see it already.
And I assume this guy Brandon is just doing this for the love of Lamy or love.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I always say Lamy. For the love of just the pen. There's no other
pretty much
connection. Oh, that's cool.
Now, do we suppose he's correct in everything he says, or is he just making this stuff up? Because I mean, who's checking him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the cool thing though is he does provide a lot of source links. I think he has almost every version of every Lamy 2000 model. So like ballpoint, rollerball, the 4-mode pen, mechanical pencils, the different versions. I mean, he has almost the complete Lamy 2000 collection.
That would be a collection to something. That would be something to strive for. The complete Lamy 2000 collection.
Wow.
So it's
super
fantastic reading if you're just the slightest bit interested in this pen. This article will make you a huge fan. Speaking of ballpoints, I'll just remind everybody about our caption contest. We still have a week to go on that, don't we, Dan?
We do.
So that's at the website. You just find
it's doing very well.
Create a caption contest. It has quite a few entries already. In fact, I think Mr. Brian Gray has entered something.
76 comments.
So the trouble is, Brian Gray.
I think mine is a good contender too.
Well, I think mine's better than yours, but you probably never went back to see it, did you?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
I didn't even read
yours.
See?
Who cares? Then you'd know what I was talking about. And just for fun, I'm going to throw this picture back up since I like it. I have another picture here. You weren't here last week with us, Mr. Gray. If you're not watching the screen, and if you don't happen to be watching video at all, these are the Edison Beaumont pens, which I saw for the first time at the DC show. They seem very popular at the DC show. Brian, they're well received, are they not?
Yes. We actually, production and custom. They're doing really well. I can't be happier. I can't complain about sales of that pen so far.
Speaking of custom, do you have one there, right with you, nearby? Because I mentioned the demo.
That we did,
yeah, I mentioned this last week.
This is the Beaumont demonstrator
that you liked so much you have turned it into your personal writer. Is that correct?
I put 1.1 millimeter stub on it. And I do like it so much that I decided to hang on to it. Now, it doesn't mean I won't part with it, but for now,
I got dibs.
It's in my stable. How's that?
Yeah. And speaking of,
I can always make another.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just gonna ask: is this can this be used as an eyedropper as well? I mean, is it sealed?
I asked that very same question.
I mean, you've got.
And I can tell you, there's a blind cap that you have to put the silicone grease on, and also in the section you put the grease in those threads, and then you can use it as an eyedropper according to the manufacturer. This has not been tested. Obviously, he's got a converter in there. And I will tell you that he wanted to put gold furniture on this thing, and both I and Wendy said no. And then we pointed out that it wouldn't really match the converter. But since we're talking about Edison,
he was right.
Yes, in the end, since we're talking about Edison, you've gone overseas apparently. Didn't I see an announcement?
Yes. Thank you.
So fill us in. Here's your 15 seconds of fame. Go for it.
The Edison production line is now available at stylos.se in Sweden. For a while now, I've had a lot of comments from my international friends saying, man, I love getting my custom pens from you, and I don't mind getting the production line through the U.S. distributors, but boy, would it be nice to have, the Edison line being carried in Europe. And so that is a reality as of last week. Stylos.se, Nicholas Dahl is the proprietor. His pens are on the way. I'd like to think they're probably somewhere over the Atlantic right now and almost over to their facility. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. But, yes, Edison pens available in Europe.
So, taking over the world. Now, I've seen more than one comment asking if you were going to see about getting, as one of your retailers, the writing desk.
We're working
on that.
I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a fraudulent post on the Fountain Pen Network. Someone just got on there and said, the writing desk now has Edison, and it's cheaper than Stylus.se and that Goulet pen store, you know. And first of all, prices on all Edison products are fixed, so no one will have a better price. But the answer is yes, I'm working on that. If anyone is in the UK and they'd like to see the pens at the writing desk, I've been talking with Martin, but he has a place to order yet. So maybe send him a quick email and say, hey, you know what? It would be great if we could find those Edison pens over at the writing desk.
I think we should just tweet him.
And there is an account. That's true. There is an account currently in Japan, but they are brick and mortar, so I don't have any way to really promote it, and I'm asking them if they want me to promote it, and then we're looking at another one in the Netherlands as well. So there's a lot of international stuff happening with Edison right now.
I see Dan has gone away. Doc Brown, could you say something so you'll come up top and join us?
Sure. Am I there?
There you are.
Keep talking.
There you are.
I think it's great that Edison is becoming more available in Europe. I really like that. So it's very, very awesome.
Yes. And I didn't know there was a brick and mortar in Japan that had your pens, but I suppose that will expand to some online retailers in throughout Asia. You're going to take over the world, and we'll be able to say we knew you when.
Well, I'm on my way. How's
All
that?
right.
World domination is...
What are you going to say? What are you going to call him then? The world's pen maker?
No, he's America's pen maker. That's where he's from.
America's pen maker, but he has branched out.
If his title needs a redo in the future, we'll discuss it. I will mention that we're still in the midst of our giveaway pen for this month, which is the tree ring pen. Just go to FPGeeks.com and you'll find all the details on our month-long giveaway, which is where you have to send something handwritten into us for the drawing, which will happen 1 week from today. So you have this week, basically, to get something into us. And I think that's all I have. Gentlemen?
Wait, Dan was out in a wheat field. Now all of a sudden he's back.
Oh, he's back.
With letters behind
there he is. I wasn't sure how we were going to get him back, but he found his way back. Welcome back, Dan. We missed you terribly.
Did we talk about recent acquisitions?
Well, I was about to skip it because I didn't think you were going to come back. But since you're back, why don't you tell us about your recent acquisitions?
Well, I did acquire another Lamy 2000 in the standard Macrolon. I got another burgundy faceted Namiki capless pen. And I also got, let's see, does anybody recognize this case, this box?
Well, I've seen the show notes, so I know what's in it. But I've actually never seen that case before. But I already read the name on it.
Inside is a Levenger L-Tech.
Well, that's the pen that you had before?
No, I've not had one of these.
Okay.
It's made out of aluminum, and it's faceted. It's almost kind of like a technical drafting mechanical pencil type of thing is what it reminds me of. But the section there is knurled. It
looks like an X-Acto knife.
It's a very cool industrial design. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I picked this up, got a super screaming deal on it. And so yeah, I got that last night, and I can't wait to ink it up and try it out.
You got it last night and you haven't inked it yet?
Yeah, that's all I've got so far.
Wow.
No, not yet. Sorry.
I see in the show notes that Stephen has some recent acquisitions. And the first one is very interesting.
Yes, but
I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, but no, the problem is that I haven't. It's not physically here yet.
Oh,
I
that's
got
a story of mine
Stipula
too.
Model T.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah,
well, we were at the DC Pen
I
show,
guess...
and I don't think you paid any attention to Stipula Model Ts or Stipulas in general. Not because we were trying to avoid them, but there was just so much to do. And now, 2 weeks later, you're saying, I just got a Stipula Model T. So what's the backstory there?
I know. Well, the backstory is that a friendly YouTube contact, how can I put that? The contact formerly known as Ziggy and now known as Michel from Canada. At some point, we were chatting a bit, and he sent me a link and said, look, there is this guy on eBay who is from Malaysia, and in Malaysia he sells these Stipula pens, and they are pretty good deals, actually. So I thought, well, okay, because Michel was quite enthusiastic, I think, about his Stipula. That's how we started to talk about that. And I checked out that eBay seller, and it was a good deal. And I think they actually look very, very, very good. I just never really paid attention to them. So I got one, but I can't show it to you yet.
All right, but you will in the future.
So that's I will in the future, and
plus, just to round out your collection of 100 plus pens, you've added how many? A couple of Chinese pens for 99 cents plus shipping, just because.
Yeah, a couple of Chinese. One of my I sort of my.
Hey guys, I'm probably interrupting.
Yes, you are, but that's fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes.
My audio is completely screwed up. I'm just getting chop. I can't hear it. Can you take me out of Skype and bring me back in?
Dan, if he just hangs up, can he come back in?
Should be able
to. I'm not sure how you got back in.
I haven't.
Well, I just turned my video off.
Oh, you turned the video off. Brian, if you can hear us, just hang up and then try to rejoin us. If not, we'll say goodbye now.
Okay.
Doc Brown, you were saying you've rounded out your 100 plus pen collection with a couple of Chinese pens.
Yeah, because one of my sort of favorite pastimes is to hunt eBay for Chinese pens that cost exactly 99 cents, because I think that is awesome. And of course you pay for the shipping, but there's a whole bunch of pens out there that will cost less than $1. And then the shipping is even not that bad. It's like $6 or something. Usually you don't get free shipping, of course. But still, I'm really being blasted by the sun now. Sorry.
So this is your hobby?
I sort of...
Your hobby is to fish in eBay for 99-cent pens.
99-cent pens, and I got my Jinhao 159 for that price, and there was some other Jinhaos, and now I'm awaiting, I think, another Jinhao and one that looked like a sort of thinner version of a Delta Dolce Vita oversized.
For 99 cents.
Well, I won't say just like it, but it looks a bit like it, and except this one is 99 cents. So that's kind of nice.
Oh.
And then, in addition to that, of course, I got, and this is very special, I got an Ahab. This is a limited edition Ahab in turquoise, which I actually did a video on. So if you don't fully understand the story, then you should probably just check that out. And of course, there is the very special white FPGeeks Ahab, which actually has the Geeks crown on there. So, I mean, that's pretty high end.
That you got for 99 cents plus shipping, right?
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, these are limited editions. They actually the shipping is 99 cents, and the rest is
it's $13,500. Well, yeah.
Well, actually, it's more, but still
more than that. Well, if anybody wants to know, I don't have any recent acquisitions, but I am waiting on 2 pens, one of which is the Lamy 2000M, the stainless steel, which will be here this week. By the next podcast, I will have one in my hand. And I'm also waiting on an Edison Pearlette in Persimmon Swirl. I have no idea where that is, as he giggles into the microphone.
I'm here. Should we tell the story of the manufacturer?
Yes, you have the floor for whatever it is you want to share.
It was actually really funny because we were making Eric's pen on Monday, and my employee Wendy has become good friends with Eric, and she made a mistake on the barrel, and just basically the offsets were off, so the section wasn't fitting. It was just a problem with the barrel, and so I sent Eric an email, and I think everybody will remember that a while ago there was that article that was, satire. It said that, Operation Edison infiltration, where you guys apparently had put some secret spy cams in our shop to get ideas for new, whatever the new product development is. So Wendy saw that. Our employee Wendy saw that, and so I texted Eric and I said, Wendy completely screwed up your barrel. Send her some texts and play with her. She doesn't know that I told you that. So Eric started sending Wendy these texts saying that my spy cams detected that you messed up the barrel, right? Something like that. And Wendy, I'm working on, so I think I was working on Eric's cap. And Wendy turns around to me and she goes, do they really have spy cams in here? I said, what are you talking about? I said, Eric just told me that he knows about the barrel that just broke. How would he know this? I'm like, are you serious? she started getting really paranoid, and I couldn't let it go more than 10 or 15 minutes because she was getting creeped out. And I went, Wendy, look on the Mac. You know, the Mac, I don't know, maybe he really did take over that Mac, and you're on camera right now. And she's looking at it, and she literally gave it the finger just in case you were watching.
See, this is how much she likes me.
So then she's like, wait a second, this is getting creepy. Are you serious? And then I walked over and I was like, you know, we have these outlets in the ceiling, power outlets. I said, oh my gosh, what is that? Look at that. And she's looking, she's going, are you no. So I had her going for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I had to let her in on it because it was getting to where it wasn't even funny. She was getting freaked out. She thought, because Eric is very tech savvy, Dan is very tech savvy, maybe while they were here, they literally did put some spy cams in there. So I had to let her in on it, and then she was not happy with Eric after that.
Oh yeah, she sent some very interesting text messages when that was all through. She had choice adjectives for both of us, Brian, I'll have you know. But it was fun. I wish I could have been there.
So anyways, your pen is now fixed. The barrel is fine, thanks to Wendy, both making it bad and making it good. And it'll be engraved Monday night and probably ship on Tuesday.
See, last I heard it was waiting for the clip. So this is just another reason not to get pens with clips, because the manufacturing process takes longer and it'll be delayed. But that's okay, beside the point.
You know what? You are right. It does not have a clip yet, but it'll happen on Monday right before we send it to the engraver.
Gentlemen, does anybody...
Anyways, that was I had to tell her. Really fun.
Yeah, make sure she watches this, because I'm sure she'll appreciate us having a little fun at her expense. She's going to get you, Brian. I'm going to make sure she watches this. Anybody else have anything that's shareable that's not on the show notes? Because, well, you guys think about it. See if anybody has anything in the audience. In the meantime, I will remind everyone how to contact us. You can reach us via email, podcast@fpgeeks.com. You can call us, 415-685-GEEK. That's 415-685-4335. We are on Twitter, twitter.com/fpgeeks, Facebook, facebook.com/fpgeeks. We have a website, fpgeeks.com, and we have a fun forum, fpgeeks.com/forum. Let's see, we also have a mailing address. This is where you would send your previously mentioned entry for the tree ring pen, Fountain Pen Geeks, P.O. Box 499, Highland, California, 92346.
You've been listening to Eric and Dan on Fountain Pen Radio, a weekly podcast produced by FPGeeks.com. Thanks for listening. But the fun is far from over, as the site is constantly buzzing with new content. So until next week, thanks for coming out. Good night.